Trevor fires for the back of the end zone, and that ball is going to be caught for the touchdown by Brian Thomas Jr. What a throw and catch. He tiptoed along the end line. Touchdown, Jacksonville. Fires deep downfield. Got a man. It's Brian Thomas Jr. 50 in the Colts territory. 35, 30, 25, 10, 5. Touchdown, Brian Thomas Jr. Just went 85 yards.
He's a playmaker. That's what stands out to me. It's just not one thing. We all know he's fast. I can't really point to his releases. Can't really point to how he comes out of his routes. He just makes plays.
Looking, steps up, fires to the back of the end zone. Brian Thomas Jr. Did he double catch it? Yes, it is. Touchdown. He bobbled it, but hung on. Brian Thomas Jr. has the score, and Jacksonville is taking the lead.
Yeah, he's only going to get better once he masters his craft as far as his stance off the line and as far as come off the ball. You'll see in games to come, he'll get better. And even next year, he's going to be even that much better than he is right now. Right now, he's just getting his feet wet and showing us what he can do. So I'm looking for this guy to be a big-time playmaker for us in the years to come, and I'm glad to have him part of the Jaguars.
1010XL 92.5 FM presents Jaguars Today with your hosts Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, and Dylan Denmark.
All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome into Jaguars Today on this Wednesday, off day at practice at camp for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Full pads yesterday after a mental practice, Tony, on Monday. And then they go scrimmage tomorrow. Not sure what that means exactly. It will be ones versus ones, but leading to a lot of speculation about what will the playing time look like in week 2 of the preseason. I thought the offense was okay on that drive that we saw them on.
Yeah.
I feel, though, like in a brand new scheme on both sides, I'd like the starters to get a little bit more run against people that don't have good intentions for them.
Yeah.
I look, again, different ways to get there. And different coaches will have different approaches. I'm not saying definitively you have to play your guys. You don't have to play your guys. I'm just saying if they look like they're not ready to go week 1, we're going to kill you, right? Yeah. So, is it possible to just go see a couple of series this week if they have a hard scrimmage tomorrow? I don't know. I mean, Thursday, you're 3 days out from the game. I still expect the starters to play more than they did this week. How much to be determined, though?
Yeah, I think it's the balancing act of really the next 2 weeks, right? Because you're going to have the one day going up against Miami down there, and then you got week 3 of the preseason as well. So and then you have a bye week. You do have a week off after that. So how much work do you feel like you need to get your starting offense together on the field? Well, how much do you want to play them against Miami?
I mean, look, they were surprised that Pittsburgh's backups played a little bit of tempo in the game. Like, I don't know how much you're simulating that in practice, things like that, but if I'm Carolina, I'm paying attention to that.
No doubt. And if I'm Jacksonville, I may be doing a little bit of it in the scrimmage, say
maybe
tomorrow,
so, right?
Like that kind of thing, just to get whatever lessons needed to be learned to make sure they've been learned, in that kind of regard. So I do think it's interesting, given that one day on the field against Miami, given you only have 2 more times on the field with the opportunity to play in the preseason, how much do you want to put anybody on the field after having that day against the Dolphins? I don't know what the answer to any of these questions are, but I do think that's interesting for them to try to figure out exactly what that's going to look like for them. I wouldn't be all that upset if they said we're not playing them in week 3 of the preseason. I'd be like, okay, you had the day. I get it. It's not what I would do, I don't think, but I wouldn't be all that upset about it. Again, it's all going to be judged on whether or not they beat Carolina. Right. So all of this is guessing what's the best way to beat Carolina. I'm with you. I think given the newness of everything on both sides of the ball, they need to work together on the field against an opponent that has bad intentions. Like that's a reality of the situation right now. You have 2 more opportunities to do that. I would take full advantage of that to whatever degree that means. If that's a quarter in each of the next 2 games, fine. Just get them a little bit of exposure. I thought Liam Cohen as a play caller showed up, right, in week 1 of the preseason, and it played throughout the entire game. Like, there was a rhythm to what they wanted to do in the pass game throughout the entire game against the Steelers. They didn't get it into the end zone. There was nothing really over the top. The one opportunity they had for that, the throw was short by Mullins to Parker Washington. That would have been a 70-yard touchdown if he just puts it out there for him, on that particular play. So you had a flash of that kind of thing, but that's with a backup quarterback to a player that's going to play a little bit in Parker Washington. So it would have been cool to see him have that kind of moment in a preseason game, but nothing from the starting offense. We all know what they got out of the starting defense, which was guys who couldn't even get their hands on the ground to get set in time to run plays several times. They obviously have a lot of work they need to do on the defensive side of the ball to get ready.
Well, you mentioned Parker Washington. He's obviously, showing up in camp, making highlight plays seemingly every day. I mean, he's really looked good out there. And again, we've seen plenty of guys flash. Joshua Cephas continues to look good in camp, right? But there's only one football to go around, and you know that Brian Thomas Jr. is going to get his. You presume that with the investment they have in Travis Hunter, that he will get schemed up to get his touches on offense, which is why we didn't put him in today's poll. We felt it would go tilted towards him a little too much. So taking those guys aside and recognizing the emergence of Parker Washington, but also the place in the pecking order De'Ami Brown has, Brenton Strange, and we presume, at least for now, Tony, Travis Etienne will be the most productive pass-catching back on this roster. Now, that's presuming he makes this roster, right? Or doesn't get dealt somewhere. He's not going to get cut. They're not going to pay him $5 million to go away and do nothing, right? So, but if they get the offer and Basil Tootin, who had a big play yesterday, and LaQuint Allen continue to perform well in practice, and you got confidence in Tank Bigsby in it, that's part of it. Like, how much confidence are you going to have in these guys to hang on to the football? I mean, we can get run for Basil Tootin and LaQuint Allen in these games, regardless, So you may end up making a decision on some players based more on what their backups do in these games and whether or not you think they're ready. But so anyway, putting Thomas and Hunter aside, your Chad and Sandy real estate question of the day: which of these Jaguars will have the most productive season as a pass catcher? Strictly pass catcher. Doesn't have to be necessarily the most catches, the most yards, the most touchdowns. Just the biggest impact total in that arena. So we're trying to take the blocking aspect out of it. You got De'Ami Brown, Travis Etienne, Brenton Strange, Parker Washington as your options today. And you can vote on Twitter as you often do, and we always appreciate that. We've got Demetrius Harvey coming up here in less than 10 minutes. Going to join us from the Florida Times Union and give us his thoughts on what this practice schedule this week with the scrimmage tomorrow means for the reps in the game. And we'll take a look at this depth chart once again, updated yesterday. A lot of oars still, a lot of the same oars on there. This guy or that guy listed as the starters. So where does Demetrius come down on with the competition at some of those spots? John Oehser will be in for the second hour of the program and then with us every Wednesday throughout the season as well. Good morning, young Denmark. How are you?
Excellent, Mike.
You are?
You're great.
Baldwin looking fantastic?
Yep. We got Hump Day Wednesday. We got to walk through tomorrow, game on Friday.
All right. There you go. What does Hump Day Wednesday entail?
Just not practice.
Just a Wednesday practice.
Yeah, just Wednesday practice.
Like call it Hump Day Wednesday.
Last full day in pads.
All right. You guys going to go scrimmage or what?
No, we do the same thing we do every day.
Okay. Just
team.
Just regular
Indy,
old practice. Gotcha.
7-on-7.
Indy. Gotcha. All right. Dylan Denmark is here, ladies and gentlemen. You can get in on the program today, as always, at 641-1010 on the Checkmate Coatings phone lines. Same number for the text line, designed by Lifetime Enclosures. Stream us on YouTube, Twitter, on Facebook, or hit us up on social media at MD_1010XL, at 1010XL Fat Tony, and at 1010XL Denmark.
Ain't no laws when you're drinking claws, baby.
All right, Demetrius Harvey of the Florida Times Union will kick off the festivities straight ahead. You're listening to Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Hey, folks, Mike Dempsey here for my friends at Dandy Foods, locally owned and operated by the Thompson family since way back in 1956. Coming up on that 70-year anniversary. Look, I've talked about Dandy and their outstanding products for over a decade now. I personally enjoyed them for a lot longer than that. Dandy is the perfect go-to when you're in a hurry and you don't want the hassle of a long wait. You really can't go wrong. They've got a great value as well compared to the drive-thru. Fast, fresh, always tasty, waiting for you in the cold case at convenience stores all over Duval. As a matter of of fact, Nelson Raceways are a great choice. There's one on Normandy, another on 200 in Yulee. They both have a great selection of dandy sandwiches, whether it's a turkey and ham footlong, maybe a delicious chicken salad wedge. You're going to find plenty to satisfy even the most discriminating of appetites. So for a fresh, quality product, there's only one name you need to know. And don't forget, Dandy does party subs and platters as well at dandyfoods.com. Folks, when you're hungry, do what I do. Go out and make yours a Dandy. And do it today.
Jaguars Today. You're at the home of the Jaguars in the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios. Superior products, exceptional service. He's our big hitter.
I'm Jaguars Today's middle linebacker, Tom McManus.
He tackles Jags talk from a middle linebacker's point of view. Fridays on 1010XL. Protected by Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Is your backyard ready for the big leagues? Pick it here for Surfside Pools. Serving Northeast Florida since 1977, they have the home field advantage. Family owned and operated, offering weekly pool service, equipment repairs, commercial maintenance, remodels, and new pool construction. Let Surfside Pools make your backyard dreams a reality. Are you ready to float happy? Visit surfsidepools.net or call 904-246-2666. Surfside Pools and Spas, your hometown MVP.
License number CPC 044080.
You may not be able to control the air you breathe on the outside, but you certainly can on the inside of your home. Just call Florida Home AC and ask about the Remy Halo. It's the next generation of air quality technology. Call 777-4300 for Florida Home AC.
Awaken 180 weight loss.
Jaguars Today, Wednesday.
Frank Franzi here for Coyle & Sons Fencing. Jacksonville is full of memorable sports memories. Remember Morton Anderson missing a chip shot field goal that launched the Jags into the playoffs in 1996? You know who doesn't miss? Coyle & Sons Fencing. If you're in the market for a new fence, I recommend calling Coyle & Sons today at 904-356-4821. That's 904-356-4821. Or visit CoyleJacks.com. That's C-O-Y-L-E, Jacks.com. Coyle & Sons, keeping your business and home safe for nearly a century.
Summer means fun in all forms. Longer days and more chances to soak up the sun and the fun. Budweiser and Bud Light reminding you to drink wiser. Hydrate between beers and don't sweat it. It's the best way to get home safely.
After 3 years, the Hacker Fantasy League is back here in 2025. Thursday night, August the 21st, at Twin Peaks on Atlantic and Kernan, the HFL is back. Be listening to Hacker After Dark for your chance to enter.
ET here, and if you've ever been injured in an accident, visit my buddy Dr. McGowan at McGowan Spinal Rehabilitation Center. You have 14 days to see a doctor and protect your insurance benefits, even if you're at fault. And no matter what you hear, you have the right to choose your own doctor. So I recommend McGowan Spinal Rehabilitation. Their auto experts will guide you in every step of the way to ensure the care that you need. Your recovery starts with McGowan Spinal Rehabilitation.
The Golf Club of Southampton has big plans for 2026, renewing the greens plus plenty more. But right now is the time to take advantage of member opportunities before the big renovation. Now until the end of September, you can join and save 50% off their initiation fee, plus $500 back in a gift card with a 12-month commitment. All the details are at golfsouthampton.com. Playability for every skill level and a huge practice area to hone your game. Lock in now and enjoy membership privileges at the Golf Club of Southampton.
Mark Watson here to tell you a little bit about hardballcreative.com. It's your online promo haven with thousands of ideas on how to promote your company. We're open 24/7, 365.
Hardball Creative. Hardball does it all.
For over 55 years, Green Acres Sporting Goods has proudly served Jacksonville from the corner of Normandy and Hammond Boulevard. From archery to hunting and fishing, they've got the gear, service, and know-how to get you outdoor ready. Stop by their full-service archery pro shop and check out their wide selection of firearms. And while you're there, sign up for their weekly concealed weapon classes. You can find it all at greenacressporting.com.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, another great guest on the Checkmate Coatings phone line.
Hello.
Your floor's missing piece. Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
All right, off day on the practice field for the Jacksonville Jaguars as they gear their bodies up for the big inter-squad scrimmage tomorrow, Tony, as we welcome in one of our best friends in the industry from the Florida Times-Union, terrific Jaguar beat reporter Demetrius Harvey. Good morning, Demetrius. How are you?
Good morning. I'm doing all right. How are you guys doing?
Oh, not bad. Jags needed a little bit of a bounce back after, some good, but some, let's put it, a lot of things to clean up after Saturday night, right? That's putting it in a nice way. And they had a kind of mental practice before putting the pads on yesterday, Demetrius. So how do you feel they responded yesterday when they went full pads once again?
Yeah, I mean, I thought yesterday they at least were able to kind of show what they had been doing over the last couple of weeks. The only thing that kind of, it's not really a concern, but the only concern, I guess, is sort of Brian Thomas in terms of his performances over the last few practices. But it just felt like at least Liam Cohen seems to understand, once something happens in a game, then you go and correct it the following day, and then you move on. And I think that's sort of where they're at defensively. At least, you have a new system, you have a new coach in there. There's always going to be some hiccups. So, but it just felt like yesterday they were able to sort of come out there and perform pretty decently.
All the newness, we've talked a lot about the first-time opportunities for a head coach. Both coordinators are in those positions for the first time this year as well. How would you grade overall the jobs that they did in their first time and those kind of opportunities in live game action on Saturday?
Yeah, I mean, it didn't seem too difficult for Liam Cohen in terms of the game management portion. I didn't see anything that, you would stand out and say, oh, that's a rookie head coach move. The only sort of issues that I would probably prop up is that, there were 8 penalties. And I think that Liam Cohen said before he wanted to see them, get those penalties down. That's something that's been hampering them in practice as well. So, that's something that they're going to keep working on and probably flesh out through the rest of the training camp and the preseason. But as far as the defense coordinator goes, he kind of talked about it yesterday. It wasn't his first time calling plays necessarily. He called them in college as well. Honestly, it was a pared down defense. It's hard to judge off of eight plays. So I thought they did fine.
All right, well, let's talk about some specifics. Jags put out a second unofficial depth chart, very similar to the first one. Still have a lot of oars in the starting lineup, this guy or that guy, right? So, we had watched throughout camp, it's funny, Demetrius, people think you're making it up like, oh, Tank Bigsby's getting the first rep in team drills. So he's basically being treated as the starter. And then you get to the game. Oh, we've been sold a bill of goods on this. We don't know what they're going to do. They don't have to tell us. But it was interesting. They did start Etienne. He did play when that first unit was in there. I thought Bigsby and Tootin were more productive running the ball. Not that, it's a small sample size for everybody. So after one game and after practice yesterday where Tootin ripped off the big play as well, just how do you see this positional battle at the moment?
Yeah, I mean, in terms of Travis Etienne's position, I thought, of course, there was a potential for him to be traded this offseason. It makes sense. There's 1 year left on his contract in terms of the fifth-year option, and you don't really have a long-distance future in mind when you think of him necessarily just because of the position he's in. But, since they did not go with Ashton Genty in the draft and since they didn't address the position heavily, I did think that they were going to go ahead and keep him, and it seems like I think that they believe he's their best option as far as the pass protection and as far as the pass catching. So, he's always going to see the field a little bit more than Tank would. But as far as that whole group goes, I do believe that there could be a world where Bashal Tootin is the second back on the team rather than Tank Bigsby, or if it is Tank Bigsby and Bashal Tootin, then maybe they split reps. But I do think that for now, Travis Etienne is going to be the quote unquote bell cow. I don't believe they're going to have a bell cow. I think it's going to be by committee, but he will be the guy getting the bulk of the third down reps for sure. So he's going to see the field more.
We've known since the moment they made the move to go get Travis Hunter that he's going to play on both sides of the ball. That's been the plan all along. But based on what you have been able to see, do you think he is any better on one side of the ball or the other? And what is your best guess as to how that will work as far as where he plays and when once we get into, the real action here in a few weeks?
Yeah, for me, there's no doubt that he's better at corner than wide receiver. He's just more natural over there. I know everyone says it's sort of cliche at this point, but you can tell, like when he's marrying a wide receiver during the Steelers game, or when he blankets an entire side that causes a sack, you can just tell he has some otherworldly instincts in terms of the cornerback position. Now, when it comes to wide receiver, he has improved greatly over the course of the offseason and minicamp. He sort of struggled a little bit, but he really was able to pick it up, and he's developed, in my opinion, the better route running over time. And you can see, even in that Steelers game when he caught I think it was a screen and he went for like maybe 7 yards, you can sort of see the vision of him, getting the ball in his hands and then making something happen. And so I do think that they're very hopeful for him on offense. And I do think that for now, from everything that they've said and sort of from everything we've seen in camp and obviously then in the depth chart, they're going to prioritize him as an offensive player first. Now, if that ends up, changing over, the course of the next several weeks because of injuries or whatever the case may be, but I do think that they're going to go ahead and put him on offense heavily and then also mix in some defense. Now, how much defense he's going to actually play, I'm not sure. I know Liam Cohen has floated in an interview, maybe 80% on both sides, which is interesting, but I guess we'll have to see it play out before we really know.
Yeah, that might be like an end goal. I don't know if they're going to be able to get to that level right away, but and part of that, Demetrius, and I get it, like he's done it before, but you got to condition your body. Travis Hunter even said he had the only time he really felt anything was early on after a two-way practice, and so we don't know how much these guys are going to play over the next couple of weeks. And is there a need to ramp up Travis Hunter to play him more, to condition him to get ready for that at the NFL level? Or do you say, what, this is a guy who's going to do it. He's got tremendous conditioning. We're just making sure that he understands the concepts that we're trying to run on both sides. Like, what's the right approach to take?
I honestly think it's the latter. And it's only because his conditioning level, and we've talked to several players now, it's beyond what anybody would expect for a veteran, let alone a rookie coming in for the first time. His conditioning ability is crazy. So to me, I don't think that necessarily you have to, slow him down or make sure he's still got his legs. I mean, he is a rookie. He's going to be able to thrive for a good while. I don't think there's going to be much wear on his legs. But I will say I do think that they're trying mostly to make sure that he understands the concepts, understands what his role is. And again, I really do think that they're pushing so hard on the offensive side of the ball just because they know that they need playmakers there, and they know that they need Trevor to be able to have playmakers. But yeah, I do think that it is a situation where he should be fine in terms of conditioning. It's just going to be the mental aspect, and then eventually you would think he would wear down a little bit.
Scrimmage tomorrow, Saints on Sunday, a day on field next week against Miami, then week 3 of the preseason. How much would you like to see the starters play here in the next 2 weeks in the preseason?
Yeah, I think that they should probably play the first half in the second game. I don't know what Liam Cohen's plan is for that. I know they have the scrimmage tomorrow, so maybe they can pare it down a little bit for the second game against the Saints. But usually, in the past when we had 4 preseason games, the third one was the one that the starters played sometimes into the third quarter. So I think that they need to have that because they are in a new system. They need to have as much playing time as they can without going overboard and risking injury. And then, obviously in week 3, they already have the joint practice with the Dolphins scheduled, so they don't need to play at all during that week. But yeah, over the next, 10 days or however many days, they're going to need to ramp it up a bit. And I think they are, starting tomorrow with the scrimmage.
All right. Right now, if you look at the depth chart, Demetrius, on the offensive line, even though they have McCary or Chuma Edoga, if we just take McCary because he got the bigger contract, right? You got Little, Cleveland, Hainsey, McCary, and Anton okay, who's coming on here? Who's got to watch over their shoulder? And is it Wyatt Milam pushing for a spot? Is it Udoka the most likely to steal a spot? They seem like the two guys that had the most buzz around them. But if it, like, say Udoka does play right guard, is McCary legitimately in the mix to play right tackle with Anton flipping to the left side? How do you see the different possibilities playing out?
Yeah, you just said it, honestly. Chuma Udoka is a guy who I think that they brought him in, and they're like, he's going to be a depth player, and then he gets in there when McCary is hurt, and, he looks good. And I think that they don't want to take him off the field necessarily. But so to me, at right guard, you could see Chuma Udoka. Obviously, McCary does have that contract, but, they're going to end up playing the best five regardless. So that there is a situation, or there is a potential for it to be McCary at right tackle and Anton Harrison as a swing tackle. I mean, if you think about what Liam Cohen said in the first scrimmage, after we saw Anton getting snaps at left tackle, he said the team needs a swing tackle. Now, when you think about a swing tackle, you don't think, oh, yeah, you're going to turn your right tackle into the swing. Not necessarily, at least. Obviously, if Walker Little goes down, you can put Anton out there. But to me, that is more of the closer battle to watch and something to keep an eye on.
Demetrius, you've been able to see the team through the whole offseason. You've seen 3 weeks of training camp now. We've had a preseason game. They had a scrimmage a couple weeks ago as well. Where do you think the team is most improved?
I think offensively. I think very obviously the offensive line, and not just the personnel, because we do still see 3 players that are on the team that were on the team before in terms of starters. But in terms of the scheme and what they're trying to accomplish, I do think that the running game is something that's already improved. Now, will we see the fruits of that? Soon, I'm not sure. Obviously in the first preseason game, it didn't look amazing, but I do think that they have gotten marketably better at that, and I do think that the offense seems to have a plan more. I think that that's where they're most improved. Defensively, maybe it takes time, but I haven't seen the great improvement yet.
All right, last one for you, Demetrius, here. You have MVP, and then you have, Offensive Player of the Year, right? And, Trevor Lawrence is always going to be the most valuable. He's the quarterback, that kind of thing, right? But you can make a case that Parker Washington has been the Offensive Player of camp, right? Showing up, making big plays seemingly every day. But we also understand where the depth chart is, and they really like De'Ami Brown. How big of an impact can Parker Washington make on this team this year, presuming everybody's healthy?
He could have a huge impact, and this is just my opinion, but I would try to move Travis more to the defensive side of the ball. You have injuries to Monteric Brown. Tyson Campbell has an injury. He's only day-to-day, so it might not be serious, but we know his history. I do think that cornerback position is very shaky. And so if you have an injury there, you want to go ahead and put Travis Hunter in. And so I think that you should just go ahead and get him started on defense more. And then in the case of Parker Washington, because of that, or because of how Parker has played, you can do that because, I think that you can go in and you can be rest assured that Parker's going to get open. He's going to catch the ball. He's been making plays. And then you have De'Ami Brown and Brian Thomas Jr. I think that the depth at wide receiver is better than the, first 4 depth at corner. And so that's sort of where I'm at. But to answer your question, yeah, I do think that Parker have a very good impact on the team. I think that he is a guy who can play in the slot or outside, and he has some size. So size as in, he's more hefty, I guess, than other wide receivers, not necessarily tall. But it's an interesting situation. I think that he's going to have to be playing a role.
Yeah, he's not tall, but he's kind of built thick, and he can go up and get it, man. He's shown that on a couple of plays where he's out-jumped defensive backs. So, he may not start out tall, but he ends up pulling the ball down. So, and can we all agree we can't have Tyler Shuck carve this defense up this week? Can we all agree on that? I mean, it would give us something to talk about for another week, but I'd like to speak about more positive things if possible. So, anyway, Demetrius, enjoy the scrimmage tomorrow, based on when it's going to take place. Probably won't see you out there, but always appreciate you hopping on, giving us a little bit of insight.
Yeah, of course. I appreciate you guys.
All right, buddy. There he goes. At Demetrius82 is where you'll find Demetrius Harvey on Twitter, and check him out. Obviously, his great coverage with the Florida Times-Union and a frequent guest of ours and a friend of ours here at Jaguars Today. All right, let's come back and hear from Coach Anthony Campanelli, Tony, as to what went wrong and what can get fixed moving forward. That's the more important aspect of that as you're listening to Jaguars Today. Keep it right here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today.
From the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL.
Chicken Salad Chick has scratch-made Southern-style chicken salad in every bite. It's quick and delicious, so why wait? Come taste the best chicken salad today at Town Center, Durban Park, Butler Point, and now in Ortega Park. Chicken Salad Chick.
It's a Weight Loss Wednesday on Jaguars Today. Awaken 180 Weight Loss, your long-term solution for weight loss.
First half champion Jumbo Shrimp are home at newly renovated ViStar Ballpark this week. Tonight is Wear at Home Wednesday, presented by Ambetter Health and Renewal by Anderson. Tomorrow is Coors Light Thirsty Thursday and Military Appreciation, presented by Tulsa Welding School and Outfront Media. Then it's Florida Department of Health Friday fireworks. Baseball all week and weekend. JackShrimp.com for tickets. Jumbo Shrimp Baseball.
Hey everybody, it's Mike Dempsey, and I only like to recommend the best, which is why I'm proud to say that I chose Pella Windows and Doors for my own home. And now's a great time to upgrade your home with 0% financing for 60 months. That's 5 years of interest-free payments on the best windows and doors in the business. Don't wait. Schedule a free consultation at PellaJacks.com or visit their showroom on Phillips Highway just north of Bay Meadows. For quality you can trust and savings you can't miss, that's Pella Windows and Doors.
Leonard Skinner is coming home, and they're bringing the Stars and Stripes. Celebrate Southern rock and American pride with Leonard Skinner Rocks the Red, White, and Blue. It's a special night to support St. Michael's soldiers and the brave men and women of our armed forces. Singing songs about Southland. Saturday, November 8th at Daly's Place. Tickets on sale Wednesday, August 13th, only at Ticketmaster. DailysPlace.com for details. Be there when Skinner rocks for those who serve.
Well, these polymers aren't as flexible as batch K3.
Researcher Laurie is stretched thin.
Did you get the vulcanization analytics from V66? Oh, wait, are these rubber scores from last week?
She needs to hire new lab technicians so she can bounce back into her old self.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Our matching platform lets you spend less time searching and more time connecting with candidates. Redeem your $75 credit at Indeed.com/credit. Terms and conditions apply.
Family owned and managed for 20 plus years, Hidden Hills Golf Club boasts a unique and welcoming atmosphere. Visit us at hiddenhillsgc.com to book your next round on our Arnold Palmer signature course. You'll be glad you did. Bueller.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Hey, Jason, got a minute?
Always. What's on your mind?
This time of year, my air conditioner is running non-stop. Hot all day, hot all night. It has to run constantly just to keep up.
Well, that's what they do.
But if something happens to it in the middle of a 2-week heat wave, I'm in trouble, Jason. I can't wait 3 days or 2 days or even the next day for service. If you can't get someone here today, I'm sweating by tonight. What if it breaks, Jason?
You call me, pal. That's what we do. Bueller Air and Plumbing.
But you're probably swamped with calls from everyone else's AC that ran nonstop and then broke in a heat wave, so they called you because that's what you do.
But we always have room for an emergency. At Bueller Air and Plumbing, we have techs standing by because we know these things happen.
So I don't need to worry. Wow. That time you calmed me down without even using the sunglasses.
Oh, I was reaching for them.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Everything you need to know about the Jags. Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
All right, tighten it up a little bit at the top of the poll right now. Thanks to Demetrius Harvey, by the way, the Florida Times-Union. Always appreciate his insight into the Jaguars. He thinks he'll play maybe a half with the Stars this week. I think that's what they should do. That's what I thought. Said it on the post-game show on Saturday, Tony. I anticipated this would be the quote-unquote dress rehearsal. And then maybe still you send him out for one series in week 3 just so they go through the warm-up. Mm-hmm. You know, they get their blood flowing a little bit.
You're not out there again for a couple weeks.
Right, just a couple of quick boom, boom, boom. Let's have one drive, whatever the case. Now, I say play a half. You go out there and you go 3 straight scoring drives, and a couple of touchdowns and a field goal, then you've seen enough.
We've seen enough, yeah.
Right, I have at least. Yeah. And, I don't know, these guys have all played football. They're not the first year any of them are playing football, right?
No.
They have halftime at all football games?
They seem to.
They seem to, right? Yeah. So this whole...
The NFL halftime is the shortest of the halftimes, but they all have halftimes.
But okay, so we're going to go into the locker room and then we're going to simulate what it's like to come back in the third quarter. We've all done this, right? What do we simulate?
What do we do now? We flip the field?
We play again?
Yeah.
We're saying we play another 30 minutes of football.
So we were going left and now we go right?
And I get it. You're cooled down and the whole procedure and how quick everything is as a turnaround. But it's basically, all you're talking about is the amount of time you have.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be that shocking to anybody out there. So I have always thought that's a little bit weird. I got to play them so that they had the feel of coming out of the locker room in the third quarter. All right. Okay, fine. If that's what you do. Again, if they stay healthy and they come out with a win against Carolina in week 1, pretty much you've had a good preseason.
Yeah.
And what happens after that, if you don't have any lingering impacts in week 1, you shouldn't have them in week 2. You know what I mean? And I get it. The level of competition may go up and down, and it doesn't mean you're going to guarantee to play better every single week going forward. But, the kinks hopefully will be worked out in the next 3.5 weeks. I don't know.
Well, and it is, even coming out of that Steelers game, the starting offense didn't go down the field and get a touchdown. And I think the penalties were the reason why, right? They were able to overcome the first one. They weren't able to overcome the offensive pass interference and the block in the back on the same play, right? So they got one of those penalties called. On every replay I've seen, I don't know where the block in the back is, but that doesn't matter. The play wasn't going to happen anyway because of the offensive pass interference by BTJ on the play, right? They didn't get it into the end zone on that drive, but I have felt, even watching the game, and I still feel today, I think Cohen is just kind of a natural at that kind of thing. Just calling offensive football, I think he has a feel for it, right? And I think that showed up against the Steelers, even with the starting offense on the field. They didn't have the big plays. That'll come. I believe that kind of thing. Whatever level of confidence I had that the offense was going to be pretty darn good this year has not been shaken at all based on anything that I saw there. I would love to see them come out and go touchdown, 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 get them off the field.
Of course.
That'd be awesome. But I expect that on Sunday against the Saints that he's going to do about the same thing that he did last week against Pittsburgh, and then I'm going to come out of the game feeling like, yeah, I think they got a guy. That's offensively, they're going to be in really good shape.
I wonder if they're going to be a lot more aggressive when they get on the opponent's side of the field for this reason. In the back of your mind, you're at the 35-yard line, and it's 3rd and 10 on your opponent's 35, 3rd and 12, right? A lot of time, hey, check it down underneath, get 6 yards, make it easier on your kicker. Your kicker doesn't need the help.
No.
He does not need the help.
Yeah.
Right? So from the 35, you're talking about a 52, 53-yarder.
Yeah.
Cam Little hits that distance. Now, granted, the longer it goes, the more it has time to go offline. I get it, right? And so there are a variety of reasons why longer kicks are more difficult, but it's not the leg strength issue. He'll bang a 40-yarder and a 50-yarder. You can't tell the difference. They're both going to the damn net behind. So, I wonder, instead of, thinking check down, if you're thinking, put one in the end zone right here, right?
Yeah.
Or at least take that. And you can't just willy-nilly throw it into traffic and potentially turn it over because you've got 3 points in your back pocket. But just in terms of being aggressive of how far you're willing to push the ball down the field in those circumstances, why wouldn't you when you've got that weapon ready to trot out on the field and give you 3?
Yeah, I think anything from the 35 in, that's the way that you should be thinking because we're not scared. Even from the 35, if you took a, 4 or 5 yard sack, it's like, we can still try. Like Cam would say, we can still try. It doesn't put you.
He'll make a 58-yarder.
Like if you're at the 40-yard line, that changes it a little bit for me because now it's like, let's get 4 or 5 yards to give him a chance. Like that kind of thing. That's kind of the middle ground on that, but it does feel like the distance of Cam Little gives you flexibility in those kind of moments that typically you haven't had.
You're always going to have that no man's land, right?
Yeah.
But it gets pushed back further with your guy. That's all I'm saying. So whereas, you might have been that aggressive from the 25 before, now you can do it at the 35 or whatever the specifics of the yardage are, which opens it up to the potential for, touchdowns beat field goals by a large margin, right? I mean, and it's obvious, so this team needs to not be settling. And I think that, that check down underneath is fine. Sometimes that'll still happen because that's all that's there. And you want to get a positive play. You don't want to take a sack. But I just think the mindset can change and can make you more aggressive within reason. Again, not throwing a Brian Thomas in triple coverage when he's the only guy in the pattern. I'm saying, just it's okay to force the ball downfield a little bit more and leave yourself with a no gain on an incomplete pass. All right, we want to get to Anthony Campanelli here coming up, but we're up against the break, and you may have noticed the schedules change. Things move a little more rapidly around here. The breaks come quicker, but they're a lot shorter around these parts. John Oehser going to join us in about 20 minutes. He'll be in studio with us for the second hour on every Wednesday, so we're almost back to in-season scheduling here on Jaguars Today. D-Rock will not be in this Thursday, but he will join us beginning next week as the Jags are down in Miami. So with that, let's step aside, come back with the defensive coordinator of your Jacksonville Jaguars. Don't forget to vote in today's poll. If you put Brian Thomas Jr. and Travis Hunter aside, which of the four Jags we put in the poll today will have the most productive season as a pass catcher? De'Ami Brown, Travis Etienne, Brenton Strange, Parker Washington. You can vote at MD_1010XL on Twitter. This is Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today for the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios. Get more horsepower under the hood.
Down the back stretch.
Saturday at Richmond.
It's going to be a drag race all the way back to the start-finish line.
Powered by the Plumbers and Pipefitters Local Union 234 on Jacksonville's NASCAR station, 1010XL.
With 50 years of fabrication expertise and towing products, the family at Cannons of Jacksonville can repair or install precisely what you need to tow with confidence. Visit cannonsofjacks.com, where quality and customer satisfaction collide.
Helping you over the hump. Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Weight Loss Wednesday continues on Jaguars Today.
Here's Linda Beaver.
Hey, school's in session, and here's today's lesson. We have hundreds of certified vehicles to choose from, starting as low as $89.99. Plus, they come with a 7-year, 100,000-mile peace of mind warranty and free oil changes. That means you and your soon-to-be drivers will be protected. Plus, every purchase allows us to fund teachers' projects for the entire school year. Your next assignment, get to Beaver Toyota in St. Augustine, Beaver Chevrolet in Jacksonville, or Beaver Mitsubishi in St. Augustine. We're here to wow you and our teachers.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On August 13, 2016, Michael Phelps ends his prestigious career at the Rio Olympics, winning his record 23rd gold medal.
Florida Home AC, the official AC partner of the Jaguars. Make them your AC partner with honest cost estimates before they start the work with no hidden fees. Call 777-4300 for Florida Home AC.
I'm here with Clayton Bromberg of Underwood. Clayton, you talk a lot about a diamond's cut grade. Why is a diamond graded for cut?
Frank, that's simple. We cut grade diamonds to show a measurement of beauty and light return to the person looking at the diamond so they can understand the value difference between a diamond cut for maximum beauty and one cut for maximum weight. Now, it gets a little more complicated when you find out that the American Gem Society Laboratory actually assigns performance grades and proportion grades using patented computer software and grades for polish and symmetry using a microscope. The end result of cut grading is a final grade that can go from a 0 or ideal to a 10, which is poor. Each of these grades are priced a little differently. That's why you can see a diamond with a fine color and clarity priced low, particularly on the internet, because a trained gemologist won't buy it for resale because of the poor cut. Unfortunately, these type deals aren't good deals. They're bad deals for the unknowing customer.
Underwoods in San Marco, Avondale, and the shops of Ponte Vedra.
Want your son or daughter to enjoy sports year-round? Then log on to I9 Sports with fall and winter registration open right now, including girls volleyball at Duval Charter Bay Meadows, plus plenty of other spots and sports on the First Coast. I9sports.com. Enter 1010 for a discount.
As a law enforcement officer, safe roads are one of my top priorities, ensuring everyone can get home safely each day. Some never will, due to aggressive driving, being distracted, or speeding on the roads. And too often, that results in the toughest part of my job and the longest walk in my life. I'm so sorry. I have some very sad news to share with you.
9 people will be killed on our Florida roadways today. Don't let it be you or a person you love. Buckle up every trip, every time. Let's get everyone home safely. A message from Florida Department of Transportation, Target Zero. For more information, visit targetzerofl.com.
With Lee and Kate's Glass, you're gonna see a big difference.
Hey, it's Frank Frangie. Look, when it comes to glass needs around the home, there's one name I trust, Lee and Kate's. It's local, family-owned, and they've been part of our community since 1926. They've taken great care of me over the years, and I know they'll do the same for you. Visit leeandkatesglass.com.
With Lee and Kate's Glass, you're gonna see a big difference.
Yo, E.T. here, and I need you to beat the heat this summer with cool escapes and non-stop fun in Clay County. Tackle indoor adventures head-on. Throw axes at Live by Axe or smash your stress away at Just Smash That. Then kick back with drinks, good food, and fandom vibes at Nakama Anime Bar or Leaderboard Arcade and Bar. Whether you're blowing off steam or just looking to chill, Clay County got your perfect indoor getaway. Find your cool at exploreclay.com. That's exploreclay.com.
San Jose Collision in Mandarin is proud to be an I-CAR Gold Class collision repair facility. That means they meet the industry's highest training standards. Experience the difference at San Jose Collision in Mandarin.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, more Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
All right, Johnny O, about maybe less than 15 minutes away from joining us, and we'll get the musings from the Jaguars senior writer from Jaguars.com. Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, Dylan Denmark here with you. Let's hear from Jags defensive coordinator Anthony Campanelli, who spoke yesterday. Tony, I'm going to call him Campanelli. I'm going to alternate all year. Makari McCary.
No preference.
I know he said no preference, you know. They all do that. I'll never forget. I asked Alvin Kamara, whatever you want. Like,
what's your name?
What is your name? Yeah. Right? Like, it's like we're finding out now. It's Bijan Robinson.
Yeah.
But which is disappointing because I really want to get the Bijan's Dijon mustard this year for the Breakfast Bowl as some kind of a prize for the Breakfast Bowl this year.
We need to poo the hell out of that thing.
He's coming, baby. Won't be long. Mike Duraco of ESPN fame will be sitting in with us. All right, now let's get to Anthony Campanelli. That's what I'm going with today. Communication. It's got to be better. Look, this has been an issue. Jaguars have had talented players on defense, and sometimes let's be honest, they play like knuckleheads. Like, what are you doing? Did you study your playbook? Do you have any idea of what you're trying to accomplish with this defensive concept? I don't. Maybe it happens around the league, right? And we just don't notice it because we're not focusing in on all these other teams.
One team, yeah.
Right, and it doesn't happen at the highest level with the highest level teams. But Anthony Campanelli said yesterday the obvious thing: the defense has to learn how to communicate better.
Got to do a better job with communication. I think that's probably the number one thing. That's just everywhere, you know, even sideline operation, all that stuff. So I think a lot of that stuff. First game, preseason, you know, you see stuff like that and you get better at everything. Well, that's what we're focused on right now. I think the guys have done a great job of that the last 2 days. So working hard and getting that right. They did a lot of good things too.
Now, look, if this lingers, it's going to be an issue. Yeah. I'll give him that. Yes, it's the first game with game operations, all that stuff. Like, you're a coach and you're sitting there, and we all watch on TV because we're sitting there with a beverage of choice or whatever. We're like, call the damn timeout. What do you call the timeout? And they've got a billion things going on, you know, trying to get plays in, trying to get feedback from their guys, what have you. So I'll give him a small degree of a pass, but it's got to be significantly improved this week or immediately, because the season's going to be on you before you know it. And the amount of backups that are not even going to be on this roster that are going to be playing in the next couple of weeks is pretty high. So they can communicate well all they want, but they're not going to be on this team.
Yeah, everyone's pro at this level. And if they see you're weak at communicating, then they're going to expose that as much as they possibly can. Right? And Carolina will certainly be prepared to try to exploit that based on what they saw this weekend against the Steelers. So that is something that obviously needs to get fixed. Coach Camp was also asked about the experience of just it being his first time calling the defense in an NFL game.
Yeah, I did it in college a bunch when I was at Boston College, but it was good. It was fun, you know what I mean? Watching the guys compete. We didn't give them a whole lot. It was kind of a small menu of what we did. But, you know, you go back like every other game, correct what's incorrect, try and get it right, walk through it, get out here and practice it, and that's kind of what we're doing in the process, everything here with camp.
All right, so let's get to some specifics here. Trayvon Walker acknowledged that, the Steelers ran a little tempo. We weren't expecting it. And again, you say, you got to be ready for that. It is the first preseason game. They're coming in with a lot of backups. Are you, okay. Again, I'm not trying to make excuses for him. It's got to be better. If this continues throughout the preseason, then it's a major issue, right? But I'm not ready to say everything is a catastrophe just based on one preseason game where the starters didn't play all that long. But what about the comment from your guy Trayvon Walker, Coach Camp, saying that tempo caught this team off guard?
I think we've done a good job preparing for that. Like I said, a lot of that is communication, just getting your cleats in the ground, ready to go. So I think, the guys have done a great job with that in the last 2 days. So I think we'll be ready for that. Yeah.
All right. Again, communication. Get it. How are you not ready to go? Right? Liam Cohen echoed this the other day about getting your cleats in the ground, what are we doing? Why isn't there that sense of urgency that, hey, line up, they're going to snap the ball. They're not waiting for you to
get set,
be ready, whatever the case may be. Why is this even an issue at all?
There's no rule that the defense has to be set. Right, the offense has to be set. The defense doesn't have to be set.
But you don't want to be turning around going, wait, you got this, I got this, and they're snapping the ball.
Yeah,
and I'm not saying it's that blatant every single time, but it's obviously
it was a rough Saturday.
It was a rough Saturday to the point where basically the offensive play caller and the defensive coordinator both remarked upon this, as your players did,
are remarking upon it, and the coach basically saying, look, we've worked on it the last couple days. That kind of thing. This is a point of emphasis. We feel like we've done better the last few days. It's like I said early in the show this morning, I expect that tomorrow the offense is going to run some kind of tempo to make sure the defense is ready for it, right, in the scrimmage. I don't know why you wouldn't, at some point in that scrimmage tomorrow, do that kind of thing just to make sure the lessons are being learned. One more here from Coach Camp, who was also asked about where they stand right now with the interior of their defensive line.
Yeah, they competed hard. I thought Smoot had a good game the other day. The guys inside I thought played pretty well overall. Like I said, in the run game, they played physical. They got some knockback and were grinding blocks. But like everybody else, it's a process. We're looking to improve every day with all these guys.
Well, look, the Steelers didn't run it down their throat. Now, they were effective in some key, third down situations, right? But, you look at both lines of scrimmage, no sacks allowed. And again, you're not playing against T.J. Watt. I understand that, but you're playing against who you're playing against. The Jags played a lot of backups. They had 7 tackles for loss in the game, including 2 sacks. So 5 other times they stuffed a play behind the line of scrimmage. You didn't get that from Pittsburgh in this game. I think Mason Smith is moving pretty well, just watching him out there, right? Without getting into the specifics of anything. I sense that he's getting close to getting back.
They need it.
Armstead's been out there the last couple of days that I've been out there working on the side. I don't feel like he's at that point that Mason Smith is. And this is just a layman looking at how active, how quick they look, how much they're being asked to do.
Right.
And so I think we're going to see Mason Smith back before Eric Armstead. I have no kind of, inside info on that.
Breaking news, no.
No, but I think, the plan is to have them both back, hopefully sooner rather than later, and I think they anticipate they'll both be available for the opener.
That's the way it feels.
To see them on the practice field, getting those reps and getting some of that conditioning. Because does Eric Armstead know how to play defensive tackle? Yes. What kind of shape is he going to be in? How many snaps is he going to be able to handle? How many snaps can Mason Smith handle right now? Maybe a few. Got to get to the point where those guys can play at least comfortably a third to half the snaps of the football game as part of a 3 to 4 man rotation on the interior of the defensive line. We shall see. But if you were out there, and I know you can't be if you're listening to us right now, it does seem like Mason Smith in particular has really ramped up his activity. I thought he was moving pretty well yesterday. We'll see what the next few days hold for both of those guys. We've got Johnny O from Jaguars.com ready to join us here in studio with another hour to go. Keep it right here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today from the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL. 1010XL takes you inside the program director's office with Dan and Jeff.
Get in here and close the door.
Mornings
You have given me a terrible problem, and now you're going to fix it.
on 1010XL.
That's what I like, teamwork. Hey, Jacksonville, it's Dr. Kevin Kaplan, team physician for the Jaguars and proud member of Jacksonville's newest orthopedic dream team. At Orthopedic Specialists of Jacksonville, we brought together 10 board-certified fellowship-trained surgeons, each one a specialist in their field, all working together to deliver smarter, faster care with better results. From sports injuries to joint replacements, we've got the right player for every position. Visit osjax.com and meet your team. That's osjax.com.
It's a Weight Loss Wednesday.
On Jaguars Today.
Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
Has someone you care about been arrested or had their driver's license taken away? I'm Susan Cohen, and I work with David Robbins at the law firm of Epstein & Robbins. We are experienced fighters for those charged with DUI, domestic violence, and all criminal offenses. In your battle with the justice system, there's only one thing you need to know. Dial David 24/7 at Epstein & Robbins, 354-5645. 354-5645.
If you're playing fantasy football, you might want a little help. Get 1010XL's Fantasy Football Draft Guide with in-depth player bios and the top 32 rankings at every position. Get the guide at 1010XL.com and on all of the 1010XL social channels.
Tailgaters parking season passes are on sale now. Secure your Jaguar season parking today. Enjoy indoor restrooms, a full-service bar and grill, access 4 hours before kickoff. Visit tailgatersparking.com and book your space today.
Home of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
I'm with Greg from Cycles of Jacksonville, and Triumph has branched off from on-road to off-road. Give us the latest on what they've got.
They've got the 250 and the 450. Rick Carmichael designed these bikes himself, and they are bad to the bone.
So you're talking about a really cool effect from a bike off-road that Triumph had on-road forever.
It is, and it's out there winning races, and it is fun to ride.
Check it out, Cycles of Jacksonville, their showroom on Atlantic near Regency, or online on their Facebook page.
Need protection? Call Craig and Christine Kaprosky at Goosehead Insurance. The Kaproskys are a husband-wife team committed to finding you the right coverage at the right price in just a few short minutes. For home, auto, flood, or specialty insurance, Craig and Christine Kaprosky are the answer. Craig.Kaprosky at Goosehead.com.
Hi, this is Dave Barker. Want to grow your hair back?
IHRS right here in Jacksonville is the only hair transplant clinic in the country that offers multi-unit hair grafting, FUE Neograft hair transplants, and the 45-minute effective PRP treatments.
Multi-unit hair grafting gave me more hair in one procedure and within my budget.
Thank you, IHRS.
IHRS showed me what was causing my hair loss and helped stop it.
Schedule a free evaluation and find out how to grow your hair back and keep the hair you have. Call 904-777-IHRS. Take the first step to restoring your hair today. Visit hairforme.com.
Now my hair will grow for the rest of my life. Thanks, IHRS.
IHRS has been restoring hair for men and women for over 30 years.
Call now for a free in-person or virtual evaluation. 904-777-IHRS. That's 904-777-4477. Or visit hair4me.com.
Have you ever dreamed of owning a handcrafted cabin tucked into a 1,000-acre regenerative farm? Well, now you can. Frank Frangie here for the farm at Okefenokee, just an hour north of Jacksonville and Folkestone. With only 250 cabins at full build-out, it's a rare chance to live off-grid, but not alone, in a community grounded in nature, food, and purpose. Explore trails, kayak Blackwater creeks, or harvest from your own land. Learn more at okefarm.com. That's okefarm.com.
There's certain places if you go in, they got what you're looking for, like Gate Convenience Stores and Cold Modelo's. That's the ticket. Or get on the craft side of things with something from Bolt City or Sweetwater. Hit the cooler at Gate, full of choices and all of them good.
This is your local sports update. I'm RJ Saunders for 1010XL. This update brought to you by TopDressing.com. For the first time in the team's history, the Orlando Magic will be playing a game in Puerto Rico. The Magic announced their full preseason slate, which includes an October 4th game against the Miami Heat in San Juan. Tip-off is scheduled at 8 p.m. The rest of the Orlando Magic's regular season schedule to be announced at a later date. Right now, 89 degrees at 11 o'clock, time and 10, brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. It's time for Oh No's with Jaguars.com's John Oehser. Oh No's. Oh, really? Oh, yeah. Served up by Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views.
All right. Pushing the envelope as only he can. The ozone.
Is that what I'm doing? I'm pushing the envelope?
Why not?
I'm pushing it back.
Well, he's playing push it, so you got to push something.
Gotcha.
You're pushing back on the accepted narratives, John. You're seeking the truth.
I am a truth seeker.
You're digging deeper. You're going beyond the obvious, the surface, and
it's good to see you guys. I haven't seen
nice
Tony
to see you as well.
In a couple of months. I've been on a couple of times, but it's always good to be back. It's
I see you out there
back to the home
most
you never
practices.
had.
Yeah. The chair still fits you.
It's a good chair, solid chair.
The door still opens for you.
The door still opens. The code didn't work today, but
well, we did get a new code.
Yeah.
Did you have the code?
I had the code.
You did have the code.
Well, it's just easier.
That's interesting, Tone.
Yeah.
John doesn't work here on a full-time basis. You got the code for the building.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
When I didn't, my friend in the front had to come in.
Whichever friend that would happen to be.
And I have very few friends.
You get an escort down the hallway. Right. Oh, Oehser's here.
So
everybody lock your door, lock stuff up. All right, well, Johnny, let's dive right in, okay? Just give us first impressions. Everybody wants in preseason, it'd be great if you can go like the Cincinnati Bengals did, at least offensively, right?
Sure.
Boom, 2 touchdowns. Burrow puts up big numbers. Chase puts up big numbers. Chase Brown puts up big numbers. They look in mid-season form. Jags are okay. First team, they went down. They got points. I mean, Cam Little's spectacular. Defense had some issues. Just what do you take away? What are your main takeaways from Saturday?
I liked a lot. You didn't want the penalties on the first drive, but the fact that I thought Trevor, the word I keep hearing is, looked comfortable in this new offense. They moved okay. It wasn't spectacular, but it wasn't 3 and out. They picked up a couple of first downs, and they overcame an early penalty, which all that stuff to get a field goal on your first drive, I was fine with that. I thought he looked fine. I liked even though it was with reserves, I liked the Tootin touchdown in the second half because it felt like they were committed to that idea of we're going to overpower teams. That play doesn't mean they'll do it, but there was certainly, I thought it maybe showed that the whole offense is getting that message of, hey, we're going to run this year. We're going to be more physical. Their response to it, I thought, was pretty cool. The response to Cam Little's field goal, I thought, was pretty cool in terms of showing this team's together. You didn't love the first-team defense, but it's also first week of preseason, so I'm not panicking.
Yeah, Tony, I'm not sure what was more impressive, Cam Little hitting the 70-yarder or Travis Hunter's vertical leap when he celebrated with him. I mean, that was unbelievable.
And you can't fake that. I mean, you can't fake that kind of enthusiasm. What does it mean? I don't know, but it's better than not seeing it.
It means they got a guy who is a weapon among weapons right now.
Look, there are things that you see in a preseason game that you don't know exactly what they mean.
Right.
Like a 70-yard field goal is a 70-yard field goal.
It does mean he can hit from there.
Right. Like it means that you do have that. Like it's even talking about the first team offense. I don't know if it was Carolina. Right? Like if we were in week 1 and they had the same kind of start to the game and it was 4th down from the position they were in, if they would have punted or gone for it. I do not know, what the answer to that question is, but they did. They did the jet sweep with De'Ami Brown, converted it, then got into field goal range. So it's hard to even tell exactly, with a lot of these things, it's preseason, you try things, that kind of thing. And I can understand they even won the toss and said, we want the ball. It was clear Liam Cohen was like, we're going to be on offense first, want to see a little bit of it, then we'll get him out. Right? So the fourth down, it's like, yeah, we're going.
Yeah.
I don't think it was even a decision. It's like, yeah, go. If we don't get it, then we don't get it. Defense goes on the field. It was no big deal. There was no real risk.
I may be overthinking it, but I also thought the fourth down play being a reverse to De'Ami, it shows you that kind of play call is going to be part of what they do. It wasn't like it wasn't like for Liam Cohen, that was a card he was trying to save for week 3. They're going to be creative in that situation. They're going to, I don't think he minded showing it. I think that's going to be part of their offense.
Well, part of what you want to do is show it too,
True.
right?
Yeah.
Because that's not the only thing they're going to run off that formation, right?
So
And, here it comes. Oh, maybe not, right?
It's a little bit surprising that with all the talk about them wanting to be more focused on the run game, that was one of the 15 called runs.
Well, I think that's going to be part of it. I mean,
yeah.
They got a lot of speed.
Part of how they do things.
And it's not just going to be De'Ami doing those. What do you make of Parker Washington? He's been kind of red hot.
Yeah.
People can say, and maybe Parker Washington has 25 catches this year, and everyone's like, oh, they all hyped up Parker Washington. All we can do is tell you how he looks every day. He's out there, jumping over defenders, beating guys, going deep, intermediate, what have you. He looks fantastic.
As silly as it sounds, I actually wrote it a couple of days ago when he had the big practice. It looks to me like he's playing his way into where the coaches had to figure out a way to use him. But how is the question.
How is that, right?
And I don't know the answer to that, but he's playing so well, and it's not like sometimes you see a receiver in practice and they have one good practice and you don't think about it very much anymore. But he's doing legitimate things. He's doing it against the ones. He's doing it with Trevor. Bare minimum, they have real depth at the position because he's to the point now where legitimately, if one of the top receivers go down, you're really not – it's not like you want one of those guys to go down, but there's no gap there when he comes in. He can certainly play a role and play it well.
Or, for instance, Tone, like when you play Cincinnati, and if you feel like, hey, we want Travis Hunter to play 100% on defense this week, it's early in the season, we're not ready to get him up to 80, 85 on both sides yet. Maybe that's a week where you lean on Parker Washington a little bit more on the offensive side.
It does feel it's an interesting puzzle to try to figure out how the piece fits.
No doubt.
Right? Because you go back and look at last year. I pulled it up because the 4 players we had in our poll this morning, talking about the impact we think each of these guys will have. Parker Washington had 32 for 390 last year. So if he was a player this year that was catching 2 a week, I wouldn't be like, well, he's not involved. For where Parker is on the depth chart, I would feel like that's involved. So how much do I expect that role to really expand? Like, he's playing well enough that I would understand if the opportunities did expand for Parker Washington, but he was a guy that was still basically catching 2 a week over the course of the season last year.
Yeah, and to think about it the way you're thinking about it, which is probably the right way to think about it, if he has 2 or 3 catches a game, say 2 and whatever that number is, and it's one in the first half, one in the second half, one is for a first down, then you're impacting the game. You're keeping the chains alive. So the way I looked at it when I wrote about this a couple of weeks ago, for the last half of last season, it was really BTJ and Parker Washington. I can't remember the third receiver. I know there was one, and I'm probably exaggerating that, but he was your second guy.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Well, now he's your fourth guy. And how much better are you at the receiver position than you were last year? It shows you your worlds. Better.
Yeah, on paper, at least.
Yeah.
And right now, I can't imagine for the role and the type of plays, and there's similar body types, that Christian Kirk could have looked any better in this camp. Was he here? Compared to Parker. Parker Washington looks like, boy, if you anything you want out of Christian Kirk, he could do those kind of things. Yeah. Again, I'm not saying he's going to get that level of opportunity, but it certainly makes me at least, not worried that they've moved on from Christian Kirk at this point.
Yeah, that really hasn't even been much of a thought in training camp. I was a big Christian fan, but you saying his name right now is the first time I thought about him during training camp.
Right. All right. Well, let's come back. There are a lot of oars still on the depth chart.
Let's get into
right? And we'll start
put the oars in the
them
water.
in the water and start rowing, Johnny. That's exactly what we're going to do when we come back. We'll go through this guy or that guy as starters. Some of those are primary backup positions as well, and see where John Oehser thinks the tables will turn and which way it will lean ultimately when the decision has to be made on which of those players will be the starters for the Jacksonville Jaguars. You're listening to Jaguars Today. You can get in at 641-1010 on the Checkmate Coatings phone lines. Johnny O is here with us on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Hey, folks, Mike Dempsey here for Pella Windows and Doors. Best in the business. Consumer Reports will tell you that. They rank number one in all the major window categories. I trusted them enough to put them in my own home. Replaced all my windows and my sliding glass door. And right now, you can upgrade your home with 0% financing for 60 months. That's 60 months, 5 years of interest-free payments on the best windows and doors in the business. Schedule a free consultation online at PellaJacks.com or just stop in and see them on their showroom, Phillips Highway, just north of Bay Meadows, for quality you can trust, savings you can't miss. That's Pella Windows and Doors.
It's a Weight Loss Wednesday on Jaguars Today. Awaken 180 Weight Loss, your long-term solution for weight loss. 1010XL's running game takes a giant step forward.
Well, Fred Taylor is the whole package.
Fred Taylor joins Dan and Jeff on the drill. Monday morning running back with Fred Taylor is fueled by Epstein and Robbins and Monahan Jewelers.
Chicken Salad Chick has scratch-made Southern-style chicken salad in every bite. It's quick and delicious, so why wait? Come taste the best chicken salad today at Town Center, Durban Park, Butler Point, and now in Ortega Park. Chicken Salad Chick.
Jaguars Today for the renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios.
Did you know that basketball and volleyball were invented at the YMCA? That's right, and even today, the Y continues to lead the way in youth sports programming, from toddlers just starting out to teens ready to compete. The Y offers skill development, recreational play, and competitive leagues, all in a fun, supportive environment. Get your child in the game to build character and skills at the Y. Registration is now open for youth volleyball and soccer at fcymca.org.
Got a clogged drain that just won't quit? It's time to bring in the pros. Duck Duck Rooter.
I called Duck Duck Rooter for a clogged kitchen drain. They showed up fast and had it cleared in no time. No mess, no stress.
We've seen it all. Grease clogs, hairballs, mystery goo from the deep. Whatever's blocking your pipes, we'll get it flowing again. Call 904-862-6769 now to schedule your drain cleaning service. That's 904-862-6769 or online at duckduckrooter.com. When you're stuck, call the duck.
Take a radio boat ride with Captain Cabin on the Ring Power Fishing Forecast Show. Wheeled in by the Pest Pros at Royal Pest Services and awaken 180 weight loss.
Thursday nights at 6
on 1010XL AM.
The playoff-bound Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp are in full swing at the newly renovated VyStar Ballpark. Your home for affordable family fun. Tickets start at just $5. Fireworks after every Friday home game, and kids round the bases after Sunday games. Log on to jackshrimp.com for tickets and details. Jumbo Shrimp Baseball, affordable, family, fun.
Looking for your new favorite hangout this football season? Try Voodoo Brewing Company in the heart of San Marco. Locally owned and community-focused, Voodoo Brewing serves up award-winning beers, scratch-made upscale pub fare, and laid-back vibes where everyone's welcome. For live music, trivia nights, and all the football action this season, make Voodoo Brewing Company Jacksonville your new favorite spot on San Marco Square.
I'm Frank Franz, and you've heard me tell you how much success my daughter Amber is having with the Awaken 180 weight loss program. But Amber, maybe it's time you should tell them.
I think they'd rather hear from you, Dad. You're the radio guy.
Yeah, but in this case, you're the one doing all the work.
But that's the thing, Dad. It doesn't feel like work. The food is great. I never feel hungry. My coach, Mary, is so good, so encouraging. If you follow the plan, Awaken 180 really works.
Well, everyone I know that's tried it has said the same thing. The result is people not only look better, but they feel better. I've kind of known you your whole life, and I can tell you feel great.
I feel better than I have in years. I love that part. I feel so good. I have Awaken 180 to thank for that.
So you heard it from my kid, and you can feel great too. Just call 1-844-346-1800. That's 1-844-346-1800 or visit awaken180weightloss.com and start your transformation today.
XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Oh, noes.
Served up by Twin Peaks, home of the 29-degree draft on 1010XL.
All right, speaking of drafts, Tony, it won't be long. Don't send them yet, but
yeah, we're getting there, aren't we?
Getting there for Jaguars Today fantasy leagues, and we're planning on 3 drafts the week of Labor Day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. They're going to be 6 p.m. drafts. Got to work them around my broadcast schedule.
There we go.
A little bit. We did 8 p.m. last year, so we'll give you more details on that next week. Same drill as always, although we've invited a lot of the Jaguars Today family, particularly in the first one. I'm hoping to get Freddie T into one of these. I was trying to twist his arm the other night, so we'll see how that goes. Daniel Murphy's going to join us this year. Oehser has made his presence felt. He's in. You know, we'll have D-Rock. We'll have a bunch of the regulars back in there. So one of those drafts, maybe I might shove all those guys in there and just have like 3 or 4 spots. But either way, we'll do 3 leagues like we always do. And we still got time to get there. Today, your question of the day, we'll ask John to weigh in on this a little bit later. Putting Brian Thomas Jr. and Travis Hunter aside, which of these Jaguars will have the most productive season as a pass catcher? De'Ami Brown, Travis Etienne, Brenton Strange, Parker Washington. But now, John, let's take a look at this depth chart in terms of the either-or type situations. And since I just mentioned Travis Etienne, he's been listed the last couple weeks as a co-starter with Tank Bigsby. And I don't chart plays like a lot of you guys do. The writers do a great job on that. D-Rock had something yesterday about they've had X amount of snaps in 11 on 11. I'm like, you're a beast, bro. I don't know how you can know
Gary
that.
Smith and Duraco do the brunt of that, and they do a great job with it.
They really do, right? And he's like, Travis Hunter has participated in 42% of first-team snaps combined on both sides of the ball, which is interesting. Sure. But anyway, so Tank Bigsby had been getting basically the first touch in team drills most of camp. And then Etienne started the game, and he's the only one who played on that opening drive with the ones. They're listed as co-starters once again. We'll see what week 2 brings. Bajal Tootin had the impressive touchdown run. He had a very impressive run yesterday.
A couple, I thought, yeah.
Right. He popped outside and got in the foot race. Jordan Lewis wasn't falling behind, but he certainly wasn't gaining on him. And
yeah, most people aren't going to gain on Tootin. Right.
No, but I thought Jordan Lewis was picking him up and putting him down pretty good on that play. But either way, that could have gone for like a 50-yard touchdown. You got LaQuint Allen in the mix as well. How do you come the Carolina game in 3.5 weeks? How do you see this position? Like, do we have 4 tailbacks on the roster? Yes. How many are active on game day, and what are the roles?
I think you're going to have 4 on the roster, and my understanding is LaQuint Allen is playing well enough on special teams to have a role there. So, can you get 4 active? That's hard. I certainly think it's going to be 4 on the roster because they love LaQuint Allen, and I don't think they're going to. I mean, all the March talk of trading Travis Etienne, that's not happening. I mean, he's excelling in this offense, and I think the reason he started the other day was because he's played and fit. I hesitate to say a lot better than they thought, but he's meeting every expectation they had in this offense. So I think Travis Etienne might wind up starting again.
We see it a lot, without getting into specifics. Do you think we'll see both of those guys, Etienne and Bigsby, playing together a decent amount?
You know, I'm always gun shy because every time I cover a team that has a couple of running backs, I always write that that's going to happen, and it never quite gets there to where they do it a lot. But Liam Cohen likes that formation. He's used it. So I do think there's probably a scenario where they try to get to that. We haven't seen it a whole lot, so I don't know how to predict it.
It's a hard one to figure out on top, we were just talking about the wide receiver stuff with Parker Washington. What wide receiver are you getting off the field so that you can run 2 running backs?
Well, that's always the thing. When they're sitting in their game plan, it means you want to get your best players on the field. I would think that's what they did last year in Tampa was when the receivers got hurt.
Right.
They sort of maneuvered over to that. Is that a backup plan for when the receivers get hurt? It feels like you wouldn't want these receivers off the field at the expense of getting the 2 backs on there. So I don't think you'll see a lot of 2 running backs unless they have to, I guess is if I had to predict now, but I'm not in the game plan meeting.
All right, let's move along on the offensive side. Patrick McCary and Chuma Edoga listed as co-starters at right guard, okay? Edoga, to some observers, might be the most impressive offensive lineman they've had in camp in terms of what he's done, right? It's particularly hasn't been a guard. And to play there, came in initially competing at left tackle, seems to have settled in at guard. What are the combinations you think are possible for the opening day lineup? I mean, right now, the chalk would be Little, Cleveland, Hainsey, McCary, Anton Harrison.
Yeah, I'd say 4 of those are definitely chalk. I'd say Edoga and McCary is still very much being played out.
So if Edoga wins that job,
I think McCary's the swing.
Is he the swing, or is Walker? Where's Walker Little in terms of job security?
I think he's going to start. I'd be surprised at this point if he doesn't start. But I probably say that with more confidence than I feel. But I think he's your starting left tackle until he proves otherwise. Is my impression right now. But I'm 70% sure of that.
If Wyatt Milam is going to break into the starting lineup at some point this year, where's it going to be?
You would think Ezra Cleveland's spot, but I don't get the impression that that's imminent.
Ezra feels to me like maybe the safest offensive lineman just based on how he's performed.
Yeah.
You know, in
I think
camp.
I think they thought that might happen, meaning Milam really pushed him. And I think Ezra Cleveland's a 6th-year, 7th-year veteran who, has done a Lee Corso. Hold on there, my friend.
Right. I mean,
Dylan liked that one. I got a little giggle from Dylan on that one.
It would have been better with a not so fast, but that's okay.
That's right.
Yeah, not so fast, my friend. But
if I had gotten the quote right, it'd been better.
Look, Ezra Cleveland's not old.
Right.
He could be the Jags starting left guard for a number of years if he holds it down. And I do think as a direct result of how well he's been playing, we're seeing Milam now being used in different spots. Right tackle, left tackle. May end up just being kind of a utility piece this year.
Yeah, and I think they feel good about him as that. I know they would feel very good if that's what McCary's role is, because they feel like with either Edoga or McCary, they feel very good about that 6th guy, and they would like to feel good about Milam as the 7th guy, being a rookie and forcing his way somewhere into the lineup by next year.
Monheim make this team. He played very well this week, right?
Yeah, they like him, and I think he makes the team.
Is there enough then between Monheim, McCary's ability to play center, Luke Fortner not long for the 53?
I would think. I mean, that's my guess, but on the depth chart, he's still number 2. But I think that's more. Let's not move the rookie past the veteran.
Deference
the first
for the
week.
veteran, yeah.
Yeah, you want to make the rookies earn it. Is my feeling. I'd be surprised at this point if Luke Fortner's around, but I'm not always right.
I mean, you start to run out of spots here. If you've got Milam, is Fred Johnson definitely on this team?
I think so.
Okay.
It gives you 9, right? That's probably
and then you got Cole Van Lanen.
Yeah, then you've got some decisions to make.
Yeah, right.
Hoping you can push guys to the practice squad.
I think with Cole Van Lanen, had he been healthy, I mean, it sticks with me. I talked to Tony Baselli one day out there, and he's like, the thing with Van Lanen, you're never going to be blown away by his tape, but you know what he does well? He gets himself between the ball and the man he's supposed to be blocking.
And he gets himself ready. Like he can go, he's ready when he's called upon. So.
And he's versatile as well.
Yeah.
All right, 641-1010 if you want to get in on the Checkmate Coatings phone lines. Darren's on hold, wants to talk a little Cam Little, so let's do that. Darren, good morning.
Hey, good morning, guys. Great to listen to you. Always, Oehser, same thing for you, baby. Love to hear y'all's takes. But, Cam Little, I really got to thinking about this, what this could mean, that kick the other night. This literally could cause two scenarios I see where it could cause other teams to literally game plan at the end of a half or at the end of a game, making play calls of worrying about the Jags. And I could see the other side of it where the Jags could potentially be in a scoring position where they allow the other team, if the defense is having a bad day, to allow the other team to score and allow us to have a little time on the clock just to get back to that 50-yard line. I mean, that kick the other day, I really believe causes all kinds of scenarios and even causes other teams to now look at the Jags in a different light when it comes to the special teams. But anyway, love the show, guys. Hang up and listen.
All right, Darren, thanks. Unless you're talking about an extreme circumstance at the end of the game where you feel like they can run the clock down to nothing, kick a chip shot, and you're not going to get the ball back. Jags are not letting anybody score at the end of the first half to let Cam Little try a long field goal.
Yeah, I mean, look, it was a uber impressive kick, and it does, I think, the end ramification is it pushes, as Liam said the other day, it pushes the line to gain back 4 or 5 yards maybe if the conditions are right. But most teams in the NFL know that there's a bunch of teams out there with a guy who can go from 65 now.
Mm-hmm. Or at least try it.
Yeah, and so does it change your thinking a little bit when you get to that? Again, I think it more pushes the line to gain back than changes game strategy dramatically.
I said earlier, I think it changes when you get to like the 35 now, and it's 3rd and 10, 3rd and 12. Yeah. Instead of taking that 4 or 5 yard check down, you're already in comfortable field goal range. Now you can be more aggressive going down the field, and it pushes that line back.
That's a good point.
A little bit farther. But no, I don't. I mean, look, in the back of your mind, you want to. People are always working the clock, but like you said, there have been Justin Tuckers and Brandon Aubreys and these guys that can boom it from at least high 50s with pretty much regularity.
And it's not insignificant that line to gain thing gets pushed back because there have been times where it's significant strategy decisions at the end of halves happen on that and cause teams to win or lose the games. I'm just not sure it'll be as extreme as the caller indicated.
All right, coming up, we're going to get into the defensive side, some of the either-ors on there at Sam linebacker and at the safety spots. But right now, Tony Smith going to take us around the NFL.
Now, Gems Around the NFL. Brought to you by Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jax Beach.
Houston has placed tight end Brevin Jordan on IR. They signed offensive Connor McDermott on the other side of that move. The Buffalo Bills and running back James Cook have agreed to a 4-year, $48 million extension with $30 million in guaranteed money. Miami running back Alexander Mattison suffered a season-ending neck injury. Head coach Mike McDaniel said yesterday that the injury is not career-threatening. Minnesota has placed wide receiver Rondale Moore on IR due to a knee injury that he suffered during their preseason game on Saturday. New York Jets quarterback Tyrod Taylor will miss the remainder of the team's preseason after undergoing a knee procedure. Carolina corner J.C. Horn said yesterday that he will be good to go once he gets the stitches taken out of his hand that have kept him out for about a week now, but said that he wasn't sure whether or not he would be back on the field in time for their Week 2 preseason game. Dallas head coach Brian Schottenheimer said yesterday that left tackle Tyler Guyton is taking part in some walkthroughs as he continues to rehab a knee injury, but there still isn't any time frame in place for his return. Green Bay wide receiver Christian Watson likely to begin the season on the Packers' PUP list. Packers wide receiver Romeo Doubs left practice with an apparent injury, but later said in the afternoon that he was fine. And Buffalo has signed former Jaguars corner Trey Herndon to play for the Bills as a safety.
All right, Tone, that Green Bay passing game's a mess right now with Jordan Love just having the procedure on his left hand, and so he's out like a week. A bunch of guys, Jaden Reed included, that are banged up in the receiving core. And Alexander Mattison, don't kid yourself, was probably going to have a significant role. He might have been the goal line back for Miami because what I've been hearing, Tone, is that Jalen Wright's not been that impressive. Jags, of course, will see them next week. Devon Achane, the lead back there, but is Tyreek Hill stated the obvious. He's not the biggest guy in those short yardage situations, so losing Madison might be a blow.
Yeah, I get more and more curious about that on-field work against Miami next week before the preseason game. There are reports like out of Detroit. Like there are players in Detroit that are saying Miami's not ready for the way we practice. Right? Like there's just some kind of intensity thing that isn't there with the Miami Dolphins right now. It's a weird spot.
A lot of it's coming out because they had joint practices with the Bears.
Yeah.
And everybody agreed this is not live tackle. And the Bears, like a lot of the Miami media were like, what the hell's going on? The Bears are like live tackle and got to the ground. So does this mean Miami's soft? Or are they saying the Bears took it, above the agreed upon line? We get it is football, but that's why they manage these things.
Yeah, Detroit's going, they can't match our intensity in practice.
You don't want it full live next week when you go down there, and you want some third-teamer on the Dolphins trying to impress by hitting Trevor Lawrence a second past the whistle. I definitely don't want that. But we'll see how it all plays out. All right, we'll come back more with Johnny O on the other side, taking a look at some defensive position battles on the Jags depth chart on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today.
For the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios at 1010XL.
AA Automotive helps keep your vehicle in dependable and safe condition. Call Sam, Harry, or Joe, and they'll check your brakes, tires, fluids, electric, and motor, so your ride runs smooth on the road. That's AA Automotive on Richard Street.
They were right. It could have waited. I can't believe it happened to me. Reaching to check my phone. Now my family has to hear that I'm never coming home again.
Officer?
I'm so sorry. I have some very sad news to share with you.
Every day, 9 people on Florida roadways don't make it home. I was one of the people that didn't make it home.
Ride with Do Not Disturb. Every trip, every time. Let's get everyone home safely. A message from Florida Department of Transportation, Target Zero. For more information, visit targetzerofl.com.
Yo, this is Tony from Tony D's. Are you looking for a great slice of pizza? Well, we have about 12 varieties. Most places won't have slices of pizza after lunch. At Tony D's, you can get a slice all day. It's always fresh at Tony D's Pizza. Bay Meadows and 295.
If you are an experienced electrician looking for your next big opportunity, look no further than the Millard Electric Company, a trusted name in the industry for over 96 years. At Millard Electric, we tackle the biggest projects in the city, offering you the chance to showcase your skills on a grand scale. We believe in rewarding hard work with the best pay, top-notch benefits, and an unbeatable culture where people actually care about each other. Take your career to new heights with Millard Electric Company. Apply today at millardcareers.com. Millard Electric, an equal opportunity employer.
Let's get the work done.
Training camp is here.
Up, quick feet.
1010XL's training camp coverage is backed by Roland Reach Plumbing and Green Acres Sporting Goods.
Let's go. Here we go. Let's go. It's live now. Let's go.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here.
Based on analysis by Ookla of speed test intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 and monthly bill credits plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
Right now at Beard's Diamonds, pay 0 down and get 0 interest financing for 5 whole years. Yes, you heard it right. That $12,000 designer engagement ring is yours now for just $200 a month. This makes everything affordable. How about a $6,000 diamond eternity band, just $100 a month? Say goodbye to high interest rates. Get the relief you deserve at Beard's Diamonds. But hurry, this incredible offer ends August 31st and will not be extended. How about a $3,000 pair of diamond earrings, only $50 a month? Make any purchase and spread your payments over 5 years with 0 down and 0 interest financing. Rings, rings, earrings, bands, bracelets, pendants, colored gemstone jewelry. Let our non-commissioned experts at Beards help you find the perfect piece of jewelry and take advantage of our best financing offer ever. Beards Diamonds in the St. John's Town Center, Jacksonville's premier locally owned jeweler. Shop now and enjoy zero interest financing for 5 years. Hurry, this amazing offer ends August 31st. On approved credit, some restrictions apply. See store for details.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
The butterfly, that's old. Let me see the Tootsie Roll. Yeah, 1994.
Oh no's.
Served up by Twin Peaks, home of the 29-degree draft on 1010XL.
All right, Johnny O is here with us. O Knows every Wednesday. D-Rock starts next week, and then we'll be all locked in with David Garrard Mondays, Check the Tape Tuesdays with Jeff Lageman, Johnny O, Mike DeRocco, and Tom McManus in with myself, Mike Dempsey, and Tony Smith, along with Dylan Denmark all season long. John, let's take a look at the defensive depth chart here, okay? This is not technically a starting position the way it's listed here because what they list are Tyson Campbell and Jordan Lewis as your starting corners. Right. So you can presume, okay, if you're in base, only have two corners, those are your guys. In nickel, Jordan Lewis is going to move into the slot, and then you've got an either-or between Jarian Jones and Travis Hunter. How do you think that plays out early in the year?
I think it plays out Travis Hunter. I mean, as long as he has shown them in practice that he can handle the workload in that situation, and there may be certain scenarios where they want Jarian Jones on the field and not Travis Hunter. I don't know what that would be, but for the most part, I think Travis Hunter will be the third corner or the starting corner, whatever you want to call it, in packages.
Tyson Campbell, by all accounts, has had a good camp. Wasn't great the other night, but not everything, again, 8 snaps, whatever.
Right.
Jordan Lewis has had a really good camp.
He's been the best defensive back in camp.
Jarian Jones has had a good camp, it seems like. Yeah. And the talent of Travis Hunter, we know what that is, and we'll see. We haven't seen him as much on that side of the ball. I think Monteric was in a good spot before he got hurt as well. So is this position group potentially one of the strengths of the team?
It feels like it could be. After last year's struggles, I hate to say it until we see it at corner. But it's so different than last year that it doesn't even apply, right? So, yes, I think Jordan Lewis has a chance to be one of the better free agent signings in a while, along with Diame. I think both of those are going to pan out very well. And it certainly looks like once Monteric gets healthy, they go better through 5 than maybe I can remember in a while. I'm not I just thought of that comment, so I can't remember every one of them in the last 15 years. But that's a pretty good 5. And Travis being special and Jordan Lewis, they have 3 really, really good frontline corners if Jordan and Travis are as good as they have looked.
Right. That's why I keep saying potentially. Right. They look good. You see a lot of things in the offseason that don't always pan out. But
Jordan
regardless.
Lewis looks really, really good. Like, unusually good for a guy coming in right away.
And he's, he plays with as much edge as anybody on this team, I think, or at least he displays that on the practice field as much as anybody else. Beyond that, you presume they're going to keep at least 6 Christian Braswell in the mix. DeAndre Prince, is he in there? Who's another corner that you think has the best chance to make the 53?
Feels like Braswell or Prince.
Jabbar Muhammad's been good at times.
Yeah, I'd hate to even act like I've watched Braswell versus Prince closely enough to say, I love one or the other. They've both looked good. My guess is those are 2 guys where one of them's on the 53, one of them's on the practice squad, and both of them are playing or active at some point, the way the practice squad works now. They both feel like they're going to be around and matter. Which one's on the 53? I'm not sure which one will be on the 53 yet.
All right, Eric Murray versus Darnell Savage. I've been under the impression it's going to be Eric Murray all the way, but Savage, once again, is listed as a co-starter or an or.
I'd be surprised if Murray doesn't start. I think the good news is they like Savage with the depth there. But I think that's probably one where you don't want to – you love competition, and it's close enough where you keep the oar on there for now. But I would think Murray's the starter there. It's what he was brought in to do. That was the idea. And it's often hard to knock that off track when that's the idea coming in. And I don't think he's played – I think he's played fine enough to keep it.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see, Tone, what the communication is like on the back line this week. And how much these guys play, too. Yeah. We don't know what the scrimmage tomorrow, what the plan will be. But the phrase that I passed along, because I've heard it multiple times from different people, is elite communicator for Eric Murray. And that's his main thing that he's bringing to the table is just consistency in the mental aspect of making sure everybody is,
right,
in the right spot. As long as that comes to fruition, I think that spot is safe for him. I don't think Eric Murray is a special player. He doesn't jump out. There's no traits about him physically that
solid veteran you can rely on.
Exactly. That's and so as long as he provides that for them, he's probably safe in that role.
Ransaw, obviously, as a third-round pick, is safe, right, to be on the 53-man roster. But when you get beyond the starters, they're still listing the oar there with Darnell Savage. That's a player that we talked a lot about going into training camp. Is his roster, how secure is his roster spot?
I think it's secure.
Right, for this football team. And that brings into question, what does the back end of that depth chart look like? Because they are going to keep Ransaw. So how many more safeties are they going to keep? We know Daniel Thomas is a special team standout for the football team. What does that mean for a guy like Antonio Johnson going into year 3?
Well, I think Antonio's going to be on the team. They like him and like the way he's played. My guess is it's going to be a little bit more of a hybrid safety, nickel, dime linebacker type role. But you bring up a good point.
And they love Ray Lane on special teams.
Yeah, they love Ray Lane on special teams. So there's you can keep about 10 total DBs. We're getting up to 6 safeties. So
right, we already named 6 corners if you include Braswell.
Yeah, so
and Hunter counts as kind of like a half.
Right.
Because you get like one extra roster spot because you're keeping him as a corner and you're keeping him as a wide receiver.
Right.
So
yeah, and you can keep him if you're doing numbers, you probably keep him as a wide receiver because you probably go 5 wide receiver. And you don't need to go 6, so you're okay there.
So you think that'll be? You think Cephas will be the 5? I mean, he's the one to me who's stood out the most.
He has stood
easily.
out, but every time Liam talks about him, he also emphasizes over and over again he's got to be ready, he's got to be in shape to do it. So I think they're still trying to push him.
Gotcha.
He looks like a guy that he's certainly going to be around, but he's on the 53. It still feels like they believe he has some earning to do, but there's a lot of potential there because he gets deep. He gets open deep a lot.
He does. He does. Now, sometimes against backups, but I mean he's
right.
All he can do is run the route against
the other guys
who's
aren't
covering him
deep against those guys as much. So.
No. All right, we'll come back and we'll look at today's question of the day, putting Brian Thomas Jr. and Travis Hunter aside. Which player will have the most productive season as a pass catcher for the Jags? We'll debate that when we return in a moment. John Oehser in studio here with us. You're listening to Jaguars Today on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Jaguars
Today.
From the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL.
Jags fans, a new Everbank Performance account could be your ticket to London this October. The Everbank London Getaway Experience. One lucky winner and a guest get round-trip airfare, hotel accommodations, and tickets to see the Jags play in London. Everbank.com/London for official rules. No purchase necessary to enter or win. Open to legal residents of the United States and D.C. 18 and older. Everbank London Getaway sweeps entry period 7/28/25 to 9/5/25. Enter and get official rules and details at everbank.com/London.
It's a Weight Loss Wednesday on 1010XL. Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
Tired of high energy bills? Replace those inefficient windows and patio doors now. It's Renewal by Anderson's triple savings month. Get $300 off windows and $825 off patio doors. Plus, no money down, no payments, and no interest for 12 months. This offer expires August 31st. Renewal by Anderson, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free consultation.
License number CGC 1527613.
When your plumbing backs up, your septic's acting shady, or your AC quits on a 95-degree day, who are you going to call? Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning. Don't take just our word for it. Here's what real customers are saying about their experience with our company.
Megan in the office was so helpful and polite. Scheduling was easy, and the tech showed up right on time.
From plumbing and septic to air conditioning, we do it all. Call 904-862-6769 or online at duckduckrooter.com. When you're stuck, call the Duck.
Daly's Dash is not only your Jaguars game day stop, but a great place to grab a meal any day of the week. To honor the Jags and the fans, we've crafted the Duval Sub. The Duval comes with freshly sliced turkey, ham, melted cheddar, and habanero jack cheese, topped with crisp lettuce, fresh tomatoes, and a double portion of our secret sauce, all served on a fresh roll. Come by your local's Daly's Dash today to get your delicious Duval Sub. Daly's is the official convenience store sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Our slogan, Know Before You Blow, applies to more than just DUI cases. Hi, I'm attorney Lee Lockett of Lockett Law. Battery charges can result in jail time and criminal convictions too, so know before you blow a gasket and hit a loved one or a stranger. Drug crimes like possession of marijuana and cocaine will land you in cuffs too, so know before you blow. In a boating under the influence case, you also have the option to blow or not to blow. So know your options. Know before you blow. Go to knowbeforeyoublow.com now. Offices Jacksonville.
Football season is here, so I've got to get organized. Lauren Brooks here. Closets by Design creates custom storage for every space, lifestyle, and budget. From closets to garages to laundry rooms or entertainment centers, wherever that clutter has taken over. Call today to schedule a free in-home consultation and receive 40% off plus an additional 15% off with free installation. Yes, that's 40% off plus an additional 15% off this month only. Call 904-878-9393 or visit closetsbydesign.com.
Hello, this is Father Nicholas Lowe, and I want to talk to you about letting things roll off of your back. So often we can make big deals out of things that are not really big deals. We can allow them to steal the joy of our day. But let me remind you that don't allow anyone or anything to steal the joy of today. Go out today not letting little things steal the big things that God has in store for you.
For more inspiration, log on to stjohnthedivine.com.
I know you love sports, so why not take that passion and make a difference in your community as a volunteer coach with the YMCA? Whether it's soccer, basketball, volleyball, or flag football, the Y is always looking for positive role models to help kids grow in both skills and character. Even if you've got no coaching experience, that's fine. We'll provide the training. Step up, give back, and be the coach that makes a difference. To volunteer, visit your local Y or fcymca.org.
10XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, the cool down from the cool guys at Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing. Fast, reliable, and honest service since '87.
All right, a couple of quick things on the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosure. Somebody sent this along. ESPN apparently has a fan misery index, which covers the last 15 years. That's up on the website. Jaguar fans, you're number one. Okay? If you've wondered who's had the most misery, actually tied with the Jets. I would argue the factory of sadness is worse here. Right? In the last 15 years, Jags have been to an AFC championship game. You know, we didn't give up all the assets in the building and sign a ridiculous contract to a guy who's a predator and who hasn't even been able to stay healthy enough to stay on the field. You know, we don't have 4 quarterbacks on our depth chart that have a chance to start games for us this year.
Yeah. And your number 1 overall pick is looking like he is going to be a Pro Bowl level player somewhere else, you know, if you're Cleveland.
Right. Baker. Yeah. Right. And not to mention that you traded away the rights to Travis Hunter for the fat kid. So you got that going for you as well. So I would put Cleveland at the top of the list personally. Also, D-Rock weighing in on this one over at ESPN.com. Ceiling and floor for the Jags, record-wise. What do you think D-Rock's got him at for the ceiling, for the best record possible, and the absolute floor for this team?
10 ceiling, 6 floor.
I'd go 12 ceiling, 6 floor.
12 and 6. Dylan?
I'd go 10 and
6.
Okay, it's 11-5. So you're in the range right there.
And mine would be 10-6.
His biggest X factor, the pass defense. Well, certainly after 1 week of preseason football.
No doubt.
We're probably agreeing. All right, why don't we fire up today's 10-10 take?
10-10 take.
Now, Mike Dempsey's 10-10 take is serviced by Ideal Conditions Heating and Air, your go-to local HVAC company. Veteran owned and operated.
I don't know if you caught this yesterday, Dylan, on the text line. I threw to something, I think Tony's update, and you were doing something else, so it took a second or two, and somebody texted in, ain't no pause when you're drinking Claws. So you need to be drinking more White Claws there, sir. All right, today, putting Brian Thomas Jr. and Travis Hunter aside, which of these Jaguars will have the most productive season as a pass catcher? You know, prior to maybe the great camp from Parker Washington, I might have been firmly in the De'Ami Brown camp with this because I thought he had such a good connection in the offseason. It hasn't been as robust in training camp. And I think this becomes a bit of a numbers game as well at wide receiver because Travis Hunter's usage may vary week to week. Parker Washington is showing what he can do. You've got to get the ball to Brian Thomas Jr. Brenton Strange is winning this poll, and I think these percentages are about how I feel. Like 41% going to Brenton Strange, 38% going to De'Ami Brown. I think you can make the argument between those two. I wanted to put Parker Washington in here because he's been the buzzy pass catcher the last few days, and Travis Etienne figures right now to lead the running back room in receiving. So you guys, if it came down to a choice between Brenton Strange and De'Ami Brown for you, I would vote for Strange. I do think it's close, like this poll indicates. Which way would you go?
I'd go Brenton Strange. You know, and we've talked about it throughout this entire I think it's likely that Brenton Strange is the type of player that is going to get 3 to 4 a week. I think that's going to be kind of where his production is going to come from, which is putting him in that 50 to 60 kind of range as a pass catcher. He caught 40 last year, right? When Evan Ingram was still here. Now, he was the featured guy for the last 4 or 5 weeks there in the season last year, but he caught 40 for 411 last year. So I do think that's going to grow a little bit. De'Ami Brown, it's hard to tell exactly, you know, how involved exactly he's going to be in the offense. I think he's going to have a role, and how much will Travis Hunter playing dig into that? So for me, I would go Strange. It's close to me in my mind between Brown and Parker, which one I prefer in this poll, but I think I'd lean Brown, Parker, and then Etienne is such a question mark that it's hard for me to vote for him in the poll.
It's in the passing game.
Yeah.
Yes, in the not because obviously Brenton Strange will have a big impact in the run game.
Well, I also think Brown is going to have yards running.
I would think that Travis Etienne will as well.
Yeah. So I'll probably go De'Ami. I mean,
De'Ami, okay.
Yeah, I mean, and with the caveat of what you guys are talking about, I think it's going to be pretty close between Strange and De'Ami. I think you could probably go either way on that.
Gotcha. And Tony, to your point, and I know you're well aware of this, you know, those 40 catches by Brenton Strange, 11 of them came in that 1 week against the Jets, you know, where it was just like check down, force feed. I think with the options they have this year, I don't think it's unreasonable to think that Brenton Strange ends up in the same range between 40 and 50 catches.
I think like 3 catches a week is reasonable. That puts him at 51.
Okay.
Yeah.
Something like that. And as much because I don't think Hunter Long and Johnny Munt really threaten you that much in that department either, even if they're playing 2 tight end sets. I thought Strange was much more likely to get some volume even with Evan Ingram here than the situation we're in.
No doubt.
Right now. All right. We'll wrap it up with John Oehser here in a moment. But first, let's welcome in XL Primetime.
Now, the 2-minute drill is driven by nobody but Nimnik. Nimnik Chevrolet on Cassett Avenue and Nimnik Buick GMC on Phillips Highway.
Leon, good morning.
What's going on, gentlemen? Johnny O.
Leon.
Good to see you, bro.
Good to have you in.
Glad to be here.
Yeah, I'm rocking your canes right there.
All day, you know.
I saw you repping them, top 10 in the coaches poll and the AP, whatever. You're very excited about that.
Absolutely.
As you should be.
Yes.
All right, so let's talk about the Jags
Seems
passing
hollow
game.
coming from a Florida State fan, doesn't it?
I know.
Well, he should be excited about it. I mean, whatever.
Well, it's a Florida State fan obviously wishing you the same success the Noles had last year.
I know what he's trying to do. He's trying to put the mojo on me because last year Florida State,
except against Florida.
State started the season ranked top 10.
We were horrible.
10.
They're terrible. I say we, like I play for them, but come on. All right, so Leon, quickly on the Jaguars passing game. After Thomas and Hunter, take them off the table. You got Diami, you got Strange, you got Parker Washington. Let's just limit it to those three. Who is the most productive receiver or pass catcher out of that trio?
Ooh, okay. I'm going to go with Parker.
Really?
I'm going to go with Parker Washington. Okay. Well, listen, I got Trevor throwing 39 touchdowns this year.
Okay.
So he's got to be able to spread the
Baker
wealth.
threw 41 last year.
Exactly. Yeah. Not outrageous. I'm going to go Parker. I'm going to go Strange. And do you say Diami?
Diami was the other option.
Yeah.
Do you think both those guys would be more productive than Diami in the passing game?
Probably not. I think Diami would probably be your third option, maybe your second option. But I see him getting some catches.
Okay, but Parker ahead of Diami?
No, behind Diami. I didn't put him in any order. I just named them. But no, it would go Diami, then it go Parker, then it go Strange.
All right, there we go. And that was the question.
Yeah,
we knew who the names were.
I misconstrued everything.
It's all good.
All right?
It's all good. All right, so Diami is the guy you think out of that trio.
Absolutely.
All
yes,
right,
sir.
what's coming up on the show today?
Little Jags, little college football, and then we're going to go around the NFL and clearly overreaction. What teams are overreacting based upon their performance?
All of them.
Mike, a couple of weeks ago, I got an ozone email from somebody saying that Leon Searcy's touchdown was his favorite Jaguars play of all time. I could not find it. I wonder if Leon remembers it.
I scored a touchdown?
Well, that was my answer. So I had to tell this guy, I think you may be misremembering.
Listen, if
I would have remembered that.
If I scored a touchdown, please find it for me.
That'd be great. Maybe you celebrated so much that we all forgot. You celebrated enough for all of us.
Yeah.
That's possible.
Please find that touchdown for me.
All right, Leon, have a great show,
Appreciate
man. We appreciate you as well. Johnny O, what do you got coming up over at Jaguars.com?
Today's a pretty light day, no practice, but then tomorrow we're back into it with we're doing camp observations every day and then camp wrap. And basically this time of year for Jaguars.com is keeping up with practice, making sure people know what's going on. So
what I wouldn't pay for you and JP Shatter to actually do a camp wrap. Like, that would be phenomenal. Like a rap, like a hip-hop version of what happened in camp today would be so great.
JP can blow it out.
I'll start the bidding at 100, okay? All right? And I'm sure we can take up a collection on this. But
Don't lose sleep waiting.
Yeah, it's got to be posted, right? And we'll all download the video. John, good to have you back. Look
Fantastic.
forward to another good season here on Jaguars Today. So we'll be back again tomorrow for Tony Smith, John Oehser, and Dylan Denmark. I'm Mike Dempsey, XL Primetime, straight ahead on 1010XL 92.5 FM.